All right, everyone. So if you actually just finished watching episode 1, beautiful transition into the second video. We are currently at, honestly, I don't even know what it's called. I just know that at the end there's a cute little viewpoint. They'll give you like a nice view of the whole ocean and then the surroundings. I don't have much else to say other than I hope you're enjoying this cutesy little series. And on that note, let's just hop right into it. That wraps up the cute little hike. Not gonna lie, pretty sweet. On that note, I saw that there was a little beach portion at the bottom, which you might have seen throughout the videos. We're gonna try to see if we can get access to it. If not, then we'll try to find something else. But the beach looks pretty cool in there, so let's go find out. Good news, we're able to find a access point, so let's go out and poke around and see what there is. Well, that was all for this beautiful little beach. I'm not gonna lie, quite beautiful. Regardless though, on that note, I'm a little bit hungry and it is quickly approaching supper time. So let's go out, grab some food and see what we can find.
A few moments later.
Alright everyone, so we actually ate at a lovely restaurant. I think I can see it from here. It was called the Hans Garden, I believe. Sorry, I got a terrible memory for it. But regardless though, the food was absolutely delicious. I'll pop a picture right here to show what it was. I ordered a lovely pizza alongside with a bruschetta, I think is how you pronounce it. Regardless though, the food was delicious. And on that note, it is starting to get nighttime, so we're gonna head down to the campsite that we're gonna be staying at overnight. And additionally, I will take the ferry to cross the water section, because if I have to go around, I'm gonna have to take a super duper terrible road. And I suppose one important comment, if you ever do plan on visiting Russell down in New Zealand, just take the ferry. Don't take the back roads. The back roads are just terrible, unless I just took one bad road for it. But overall, terrible experience. Just take the ferry. But that's not too bad. It kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the ferries that I've taken down in Nova Scotia. I think it's 18 bucks, but honestly, 18 bucks versus Poopy Road, I will happily take the 18 bucks. That's all I gotta say. And we have successfully embarked onto the ferry. Honestly, I think it's the same ferry as what they have down in Nova Scotia, but yeah, 15 bucks Canadian. I'm not gonna complain. Hopefully we get some cute little views around. We'll see. And off we go. Alright everyone, so this is day 2 of this lovely video. We stayed at a campground yesterday night, and not gonna lie, not the biggest fan of it. It didn't look like it was very muchly supervised or whatsoever. However though, the number one thing that did drive me nuts were certainly the mosquitoes. If you know me, I hate mosquitoes with a passion. But regardless though, it's day 2. We are out on a lovely cutesy little adventure. That's kind of cute. But regardless though, apparently there is 2 waterfalls on this trail, so let's go out and discover them. pretty cutesy little hike, and there was a cute little cafe shop right next to the hike, which I obviously had to stop for. They have some little lovely brownie with some whipped cream, so we'll do a little taste test of it and give you guys some insight on it.
6.5 hours later.
That was one busting brownie. Yeah, if you're ever out doing the hike for out here, definitely recommend stopping at the cute little cafe shop. It is so adorable inside. But regardless though, let's go on to our next adventure. Do I know what it is? No. Let's find out and let's just set out to it. Alright, so we made it to the next little pit stop. The next pit stop is called the Mahinepua Peninsula track. Not gonna lie, probably butchered that name too. I sincerely apologize for all the butchered name throughout this New Zealand video series. Let's just say me being francophone and having English as my second language is just the worst combo one could ask. But regardless though, there seems to be a lot of positive review on this trail, so from all the views that I have seen driving to it, looks completely fantastic. So on that note, let's go out, find out what it's all about. We are currently at our next pit stop, and it is called the St. Paul's Rock, I think is what it's called. But regardless though, it's a rather short hike. However though, the views at the top of it looks spectacular. So let's go find those. Well, I gotta say, those were some pretty epic views. The fact that like you could see 360 around you just made it extra cool for whatever reason. But regardless though, we're gonna head out to our campsite. Hopefully we can catch it before it's nighttime. Not too sure about that one, but if it is nighttime, I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. But on that note, let's go out to the campsite. Alright everyone, so we are on to our next day. After all, the campsite wasn't as great as what I had originally anticipated. But regardless though, we're off to a new day and we're actually at a pretty cool location. As you can see from the back, we are actually at the New Zealand sand dunes. I don't know if they have like something similar out in Canada, but I don't think they're as big as what I'm currently looking at. Yeah, no, let's just go out, explore, see what it's all about. And yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for this one. Let's go find out. I don't know why, but it feels so random, if that makes any sense. Like it's like someone just spawned it onto the ground. Anywho, let's keep climbing. which is the Cape Reinga lighthouse. Hopefully I didn't butcher that name. If I did, I apologize, as always. But honestly, just observe the amazing views, because this is flipping amazing. So I had to share this, but this is a clip of me driving at nighttime in New Zealand. The roads are just crazy. All right, everyone, we are officially the next day, and for this last bit of the video before we cut it off and then put it into a third part, or whatever you wish to call it, aka the next video. On that note, for today, we're going to go out and explore the Piha region, I believe is how it is pronounced. Not gonna lie, I probably butchered the name, but it's a-okay. Regardless though, we are going to go out, visit 2 waterfalls and a lovely beach. Now, it is supposed to keep raining as to what it is at the moment, but hopefully it clears out. Regardless though, we'll still go out, have some fun. Without waiting, let's go out. All right, so honestly, thoughts on the waterfall? I personally think they were absolutely spectacular. First and second one were very amazing. I guess there's one thing that kind of sparks my curiosity a little bit. If you are from New Zealand, if the water is blue, doesn't mean it's good or bad. Like, for example, out in Canada, a lot of our lakes and rivers, or just any general body of waters, they'll kind of have that like brownish color to it. It almost looks like rust. But that color simply just comes from the leaves decomposing out in those bodies of water. I guess I'm a little bit curious as to what it is out in New Zealand, if that blue water is something along similar lines, but just different thing. But bigger words, is it safe to swim in or not? Regardless though, we're going to stop this part of the video. I'm pretty sure there's probably well enough lengthy content on this video so far. On that note though, stay tuned for the next upcoming video, which sneak peek, we're currently at the Auckland Zoo, but that will be published into the next video. However though, as always, if you've enjoyed it or, you know, had a pleasure watching these videos, feel free to leave a thumbs up and obviously subscribe to stay tuned for the next New Zealand video. Regardless though, yeah, have a lovely day or whatever you've been up to. See y'all.